Hey everyone, Michael Pickens here. We're just a few minutes late for our weekday live stream. And yes, yesterday I had a little mix up and I had to go pick up a friend at the airport and I kind of didn't time everything right. So we missed yesterday. But today we have Zach Hall. He's a libertarian running for State House District 43 in Ohio. And I'm super impressed by this guy. He was one of the first candidates this year that I started coaching, and he has been diving into his community activism. And so, Zach, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Awesome. So, the first question is always the hardest, right? Why are you running for office?
I am running because the issues that matter most are not being addressed in Ohio or throughout the country. I really believe that liberty needs to be brought back. Our founding fathers intended that, but I think we're forgetting what liberty means. And that's why I'm running. I want to run and actually show everyone what being a libertarian means and how that can go about changing this country one libertarian voice at a time.
Awesome. So, what does liberty mean to you?
Liberty means that as long as you are not hurting anyone, yourself, or causing harm to members of the community, I feel like you should be able to do what you want, as long as you're not stealing or trying to do any harm to the community, I guess I should say. Chase Oliver said it the best when he was running for president, but that is absolutely what I feel liberty means to me, at the least.
Yeah, so you're basically, your rights end where someone else's rights begin, and
Correct.
vice versa. Can't
Right.
steal, don't steal from people, don't take their stuff, don't impose
Exactly.
your will against their will. Yeah, that's fantastic. What's one specific issue that you are running on that you feel that the libertarians have like a solid grasp on?
I truly feel that right now, with what I'm trying to do, especially property taxes, is a huge one. Eliminating property taxes, that is actually going to be an issue on the ballot this year, as long as they can gather enough signatures. So I'm going to be helping them advocate for that during my candidacy.
Cool.
And so hopefully, even if a bunch of libertarians don't get elected in Ohio, we can still use this issue on the ballot this year and actually go ahead and do one of the things that we're all running on, which is the elimination of property taxes. I want all taxes eliminated, but got to start small, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the Libertarian Party of Ohio, all of you out there seem to be doing a concerted effort to recruit 99 candidates, one for every state house district. I just
Correct.
had an interview with Josh Umbaugh, and he was talking about that as well. I've talked to Michael Sweeney. So
Right.
you guys are kicking ass out there. You're probably going to have the most state rep candidates in the entire country.
Yeah,
The
well,
entire
I told Mike, I said, we're going to be a huge battleground for the Libertarian Party in
Yeah.
2026, and I'm so excited. I mean, we've got candidates for statewide offices. We're actually going to have a primary for governor, and as secretary of
That's
the Lucas
great.
County. Yes, as secretary of the Lucas County Libertarian Party, we're going to be hosting one of the first gubernatorial debates for the primary. So pretty stoked about that.
That's wonderful. You don't see that very often where there's a primary for libertarian candidates going up against each other to get the nomination. You don't see that very often.
Exactly.
That shows the maturity of your organization. Sweeney, everyone else out there, I've known him for a decade, and he has been committed for sure, 100%. Now,
Exactly.
Let's hop back over to your campaign. What personal experience made this run feel kind of necessary rather than just optional?
So as I started, really delving into becoming an adult, I know that's funny to say, but I am only 25. And shortly after my husband and I got married, we got our first home. And I have been at Kroger for 5 years now. So 2 years beforehand, before we got married, I was already, you know, ingrained at Kroger. And I've been in retail since I was 18. And, I work the normal 9 to 5 job, like any of my average neighbors do. Everybody doesn't work in retail, but, I can guarantee you that anybody who I stop and say hello to, whether they're now an executive at a company, they'd be like, oh, I was a bagger at Kroger at 16. Like,
Yeah.
it's a very popular job. And, I have had the issue of living paycheck to paycheck, and
Yep.
that's not even, trying to be tacky or stereotypical. It's literally what we've had to do. I mean, not saying that Kroger's not a good job, because I do make decent money, and my husband, he makes decent money in his line of work. But, with the prices that are just, the government is not taking care of the financial problems that the state faces or the nation faces. I mean, they're allowed to go in debt whenever they want with our money. And then that causes groceries to rise. It causes the prices of vehicles and homes to rise. It causes rents to skyrocket. Whether the landlord wants to raise the rent or not, it comes to a point in time where is he even making, or he or she making, any money off of this home anymore? And
Yeah.
the people are essentially living there for free. And I rent, and my landlord pretty much explains it to me like that.
Yeah.
So we've
Property
had some
taxes
rough
go
times.
up. Yeah. Property taxes go up. Uh, Government imposes new fees and permitting for insurance companies. Insurance prices rise. Like
Correct. And
food
that's
prices
what with
rise.
our car insurance too, that goes up. Even our renter's insurance goes up. I mean,
Yep.
it literally, all those small bills add up quickly, like our light bill, our gas bill, our water bill. I mean, heck, even the trash bill.
Yeah. Even the trash bill. So Josh Humbaugh, like I brought him up earlier. He just says hi, Zach. So I just wanted to throw that
Hello,
out there.
Josh.
Yeah, one of your fellow Ohio candidates for
Yep.
state representative. So the thing that a lot of people don't understand is that the state government has a huge role in reducing those costs, and they can even
Yep.
bypass the tariffs from the federal government for a lot of food items, right? So if they remove a lot of the restrictions on meat packing, a lot of family farms can start popping up and start offering meat, directly to consumer. They can create their own butchering facilities or butcher it themselves. Same thing with eggs, milk, bread, like bakeries, there's so many restrictions and permitting costs and fees and taxes that these people are having to pay all the
Correct.
time.
And that's
Yeah.
another reason that I'm running, because quite unfortunately, at 25, I didn't expect to be a homeowner, but I now am. After the recent passing of my uncle, I inherited his property.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the amount of taxes and the amount of permits or anything I want to do to that dirt of what is my property is insane. And I believe that I shouldn't have to pay those permits. I mean, I'm already going to the Home Depot and going to spend a couple grand, and I've
Yeah.
already got to pay taxes to the government to buy that stuff. So I don't understand the point of government, like, give me, gimme, gimme at every turn. But when it comes to actually trying to help people, they're nowhere to be found unless it's campaign time.
Yeah. There are more and more people in the community here locally that I'm seeing that are understanding these things. And right now, looking at the number of libertarians stepping up to run for office who also understand these issues, I think there's a big shift happening.
Oh, I do too. And even my father, who is a hardcore Trump Republican, I mean, he is an era Reagan Republican.
Yeah.
And when talking to him, he's starting to slowly see the decline of the Republican Party. And, as libertarians, we're not only going after, conservative voices. I mean,
Yeah.
the Democrats have huge problems as well. And I have many of my friends who are in the Ohio LP who are former Democrats.
Sure.
And I think that the way we go about our messaging, especially here in Ohio, we have District 9. And last year, Tom Pruss was running, and he's, came from the Republican side years ago. And people blame him for the Republican losing that race. Now we have literally a brand new candidate running this year. And his name is David, but he's a drag queen from Toledo. So now they're saying we're going to make the Democrat lose just because our candidate is a drag queen. So I just find it inherently funny that when it comes to either side of the aisle, they just have to pick somebody to blame them for their loss, when in reality, their messaging is just not it anymore. It's not working.
Not just the messaging, but the policies.
Correct.
That's
and
it.
the work ethic. And the work ethic. I mean, I can tell you that, there might be a Republican that I agree with some of what he says, but he gets down to Columbus or in DC and they do nothing like that. In fact, half of the time, more than half of the time, they're flipping the script and going the exact opposite of what they were saying because, well, I looked into it. No, you got your pockets lined and now you're completely different.
Yeah, the donations that come in. So let's talk about that, right? That's obviously political corruption. Let's say that you get elected to office. What is going to keep you from lining your pockets or doing what the lobbyists say,
Well, one thing that I have made clear on the campaign trail is that I am probably going to be the most I'm going to be easily contacted.
Yep.
Why? Because if I get elected, I'm going to stay at my job at Kroger part-time. You can come in and say hi to me. I'm going to work at Kroger and I'm still going to be bringing out your groceries. You got a problem? Here's my number. Call me after work.
Yeah.
Like, I literally am going to be so easily accessible. It's not even funny. I'm not going to be at these fundraisers and galas and stuff. I mean, I just don't see the point in that. I am literally working to represent my community, and what better than to continue working within my community at the local Kroger?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's awesome. Super accessible. I haven't been to the Ohio State House, but I've been to the Washington State House numerous times. And every representative and state senator, they have their little offices, right? And outside they got their little benches with the cushions on it, that the lobbyists and the special interests and everyone, they sit and wait for their appointment for their 15 minutes or whatever they get, right? And then they go in there and close the door. What do they talk about? So
Money.
My suggestion is that how police are required to wear their body cams, right? Politicians should as well. They should live
I
stream
agree.
those meetings. Those should be live streams. They're doing the people's business. The
Correct.
people need to know what they're doing.
And they need to know what is being said behind those closed doors, because in Ohio, I'll have my own office. It won't be right in the state house. I do believe the state reps have, because there's 99 state reps. And so I do believe that it's only like maybe the leaders and then the senators, I think, all have offices within the state house itself. But there is an actual building that's connected that has all those, fancy offices. And of course, I would have one if elected. And then, I can't say that I'm going to be full time at Kroger if I'm elected. I'm going to have to spend a lot of time down in Columbus. It's not that easy. So I would have an office and people would be able to reach me there. But I can tell you, I don't want any lobbyist money. And if lobbyists want to talk to me, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to prevent people from wanting to talk to a representative just because they're lobbying for someone, but I'm not going to take their money. If they want me to vote for something, they better make it better be good. And it better align with what I believe in. I'm not going to sugarcoat that to them, and I'm not going to make my values twist and turn like a tornado just to make people who could possibly donate to my campaign happy. I don't want their money. I don't need their money.
Yeah. So that the whole live stream, the politicians, we ran an ad with a reel for our gubernatorial candidate here, and that was by far the most popular one. Live stream the politicians, because they are doing deals in their back rooms, hiding the public's business from the public, and
Exactly.
that's corruption, plain and
Yep.
simple, plain and simple
Exactly.
corruption. So, what are some other issues that you stand behind that you're going to push forward while running for office?
So one thing, of course, big on my plate is property taxes, but a few other things is, I want there to be, I don't believe that people or anyone, whether it be in law enforcement or anything, I don't believe you should be above the law. So I don't believe qualified immunity should exist.
Sure.
And that is because just because you are in a different position does not mean you bleed any different than I do. And it does not mean that you have more rights than I do. And that's why qualified immunity should definitely come to an end. And especially with what happened recently with the shooting of the woman by ICE agents, which I also believe that ICE and the current federal government are impeding on all of our rights across the country right now. But right now,
You know, Ron, Ron DeSantis, Republican governor in Florida, stated that if your car gets surrounded by a violent mob, you have the right to run them over. You know,
correct.
does that also work with people in masks in unmarked vehicles with firearms? Like,
Correct. And also, ICE agents, they might be official agents of a federal agency, but those agents do not get trained like a police officer does. These agents are literally just said, hey, join our team, and here's a gun and a badge. Now go hunt down anyone that looks like they're from Mexico.
yeah, yeah, pretty much,
Like, that is
unfortunately.
literally it. And it's honestly sad that it's come to that point. I mean, I'm not saying that anyone who's in this country illegally and is breaking the law and bringing in drugs or crime or killing other people should not be deported, but I really don't think that's a major issue in our country right now. Right now, we're more worried about those from other countries than those who are actually living here.
Yeah, and the thing is, our government is releasing violent felons on the street all the time.
Correct,
There's a
because jails are
documentary.
overcrowded, and
Yep.
that's the other issue, the overcrowding of jails. So I want to work with our sheriffs and the jails and actually come to a conclusion of, when it comes to sentencing of nonviolent criminals, we need to look more at getting them the assistance and help they need so that they don't do those minor law breaks anymore. If you're freaking caught on the street and you're doing drugs, I mean, you chose to do that to yourself, first of all. So if they're
Yep.
arrested for having that drug in possession, now I'm a libertarian. I don't believe that drugs should be illegal. But if you're found in possession of that, you shouldn't be having to spend 6 to 8 months in jail for getting high. You should be spending 2 to 3 months in a rehabilitation facility, and then government giving you some kind of packet of, here are the places you can go to sleep for the night. Here are some jobs who will hire you. It's
Yeah.
about rehabilitating the community, and the government doesn't have to spend a dime doing that. There is no money in that. The government doesn't have to spend anything to do any of that. I mean, it's not government related facilities that we would have to build or anything. It's literally community places that would accept these people and help them.
Yeah. So, in 2011, Portugal decriminalized all drugs, and what happened was they told people if they got caught with hard drugs, heroin or whatever, right? They had to go to drug court, and in drug court, they said, "Do you want to go to rehab or do you want to go back out on the street?" There was no like jail, there was no punishment like that. They gave people an option to get better or to stay where they were at to get
Correct.
worse.
And
And what
that's what I
happened
wish we
was,
were at.
yeah, drug use dropped 50% in adults and teens because it took away people's fear of coming out and saying, you know what, I do need help, right? Because they wouldn't get in trouble if they relapsed. You know what I mean? And what you
Correct.
were talking about earlier, going to jail for 6 months, people don't understand. If I went to jail for 6 months over, just a minor possession of heroin or whatever, my entire life would fall apart. I would lose everything,
Correct.
lose my properties, lose my home, lose my
Exactly.
vehicles. Like the banks aren't going to say, "Oh, well, we'll just wait. When you're
Right.
out, you can start paying again." No, they'll repossess everything. If the police don't take it from me, right, through
Correct.
civil asset forfeiture, so that basically they're going to destroy my life
And
over a
take your
possession.
possessions.
Yep. And the thing is,
And,
it's like, yeah, I understand if I hurt someone to get drugs or if I
right.
stole from someone to get drugs, then you're
Right.
infringing on someone else's rights. And then
But
that
even
is
if it's like
a
simple
violation.
assault, so let's say you're arrested and you assaulted someone, okay, or committed battery or something,
Battery, yeah.
minor offenses, right? That's up to what, 30 days in jail,
Yep.
or possibly just a $150 fine. But if you have a little bit of drugs on you, oh, now it's extended and they use that and they put you in jail for up to, 6 months. And I know 6 months doesn't happen often or anything like that. And a lot of times these people are released. But what about the times they're not? What about these people
Yep.
who have spent years and they are now in their 60s and they have been in jail since they were 30 just for having like marijuana? And these cases aren't re-looked at and they haven't been for decades.
Yep.
Like, I think it's ridiculous that people all throughout the country and in Ohio are literally jail rotting right now and could have had a whole entire family and, they could have been a doctor by now, like anything. And no, they're sitting in jail and we're all paying for that.
Yeah. We're paying for it. The taxpayer is paying for it to keep nonviolent, victimless crimes offenders in jail
Mm-hmm.
indefinitely, pretty much, till they
Correct.
till they die. That's crazy. And
It
it's
is.
probably because of the contracts that the state has with, these private prisons, right? Or if it's a public partnership prison, you know, where they impose certain levels like, oh, the prison needs to be at 80% capacity or you're going to pay for the empty beds, right?
Correct.
Yep.
And yeah, and I don't agree with that either. I mean,
No.
seriously, like if we're going to have any type of contracts with private prisons or anything, we actually need to be efficient about it and not allow ourselves to the government allowing themselves to get warped into that kind of reality. Like, oh gosh, we got to arrest a few more people tonight, guys. We're about two beds too less. Got
Yep.
to get some guys in here tonight. And some poor guy's just walking down the street and he gets arrested for a night just to make sure that they're above capacity.
Yeah. Yep. It is crazy, man. Um, well, thank you for running. I greatly appreciate it. I always
Hey,
tell
I'm
libertarian
excited.
candidates,
I have always wanted to run. And when the opportunity arose this year, I decided, let's do it. And I'm going to have some fun this year. I'm going to, not only have fun with my own campaign, but the libertarians who are running all throughout Lucas County and the state. I mean, gosh, I am really looking forward to breaking a record this year. Really
nice.
looking forward to it.
Well, I would highly recommend that you get some short videos out there. Obviously, you'll get some clips from this interview that are going to be really good. And start throwing $5 and $10 into Facebook ads for your district so you can start building a lot of momentum. You'll end up getting more donors. You'll end up getting more volunteers. That's the way to go. So a lot of people don't understand, running as a libertarian is not the same as running as a Democrat and Republican.
Not
It's
at all.
no, it is a lot harder. You don't
It
have a
is.
built-in support base, and you got to build it from scratch. And
Correct.
one
And
of
the
the
Republicans and the Democrats, they have these connections of getting invited to local things throughout the area or these private events that, you know, uh, when it comes to forums or debates, we're not reached out
Yep.
to.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's why you got to increase the visibility, right? Increasing visibility will increase credibility, and then it'll increase political profitability, which in politics, it's, donors, it's volunteers, it's votes, right? At the end of the day. So I think you're going to do great. You've got a solid message. You've got issues that I think the majority of people in your community will agree with. And that's key. You lead with the things that 70-80% of the population agree with, and you're going to have a lot of success. So
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to having conversations with people all throughout my district.
yeah, and you were already active in politics. I know you were helping out a mayoral candidate who didn't quite make it across the finish line, and I saw how active you were. So building relationships already. You want to talk a little bit about some of your activism in the community?
Yeah, I've been working in politics since I was 16, whether it be on mayoral campaigns, city council campaigns, judicial campaigns. And I made a lot of acquaintances, friends, allies, and that has really given me some credibility when it comes to helping on campaigns, managing campaigns. Um, do all of them really agree with my libertarian policies all the time? No, but I believe in them when it comes to a local level because I believe all of politics are local. But when it comes locally, there are times where I will totally vote for the Democrat or the Republicans because number one, there's literally, they can talk about all these issues that they want, right? They could talk about national issues, they can talk about state issues, but literally on city council or when you're running for a judge, those issues do not matter. And a lot of the times, these city council and judicial candidates don't really want to respond to those national issues or anything. It's like, I'm here to talk about the roads, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, get the potholes filled. Well, the thing
Yes.
is, if you look at budgets, I looked at my county budget, and it's like, you know, public transportation, or not public transportation, but infrastructure, public infrastructure and the roads, tiny bit of money. But they have
Yep.
all these pet projects, these NGOs getting millions of
Correct.
dollars every
And
single
that's
year.
the problem that's happening in Toledo. And it's literally because our government is so ineffective when it comes to money that it's ridiculous. I mean, people say,
Yeah,
well, what has our state rep done for us? Nothing. They've been helping uh, launder money from Columbus at the state house up to the what we call the three C's and then Toledo. I
yeah,
mean, that's literally what happens, and that happens all across the country too. I mean, the major cities get all the money, and then these local communities don't get squat. Like they're lucky they're even recognized as a city.
yeah. I'm more of an advocate for kind of like a direct democracy, because right now we live in an oligarchy with extra steps, right? Once someone gets elected, there's nothing we can do. They're there for 2 years or
Correct.
4 years. With more of a direct democracy, it's like, let's say every citizen gets to decide where their tax dollars go. So they could say, no, we're not going to give to any of these nonprofits, and I want to put my money in the sheriff's department, in the fire department, and in transportation, in the roads, right? So none of these special things that the politicians keep putting the money into, just basic infrastructure. And I think
Right.
that would change things very quickly.
Oh
Roads
yes.
would be
And
paved fast.
exactly.
Yep. So because we should be able to decide where our tax dollars go.
Yeah, we should. And but unfortunately the reality is with the way our government is, it's going to take voice by voice and people like myself, Josh Umbog, Mike Sweeney, Tom Pruss, and others throughout the libertarian movement, even independents who are just running as an independent candidate
Yeah.
somewhere along the line because they're tired of the two-party system too. I mean, all of those voices mean something.
Yep. Yeah, I agree 100%, man. And these voices talking about ideas that the Republicans and the Democrats will not give any attention to. That's
Correct.
the importance of running for office, because you're bringing a new conversation to the table and new ideas, new perspective, and real solutions.
Correct. We have been recycling the same issue since 2008.
Yep.
And the Democrats and Republicans have not done anything to do with any of those issues. Literally, I'm tired of hearing about Obamacare. I'm tired of hearing about the national debt, which that'll never ever end because the national debt is so horrific, but they're the ones literally adding to it.
Yes.
It's just the same recycled issues since probably even before 2008. And
Yep.
that's why people are just getting so sick and tired of it. And when we bring up these newer issues, people are like, what are you talking about? Because they don't know that it's an issue. The Republicans and Democrats have literally taken over and taken advantage of the average American voter.
Yep. I agree, man. So if someone wants to donate to your campaign to help you market and get your signs and run some ads, where would they go?
allforohio.com/donate.
hallforohio.com/donate. And before we hop off here, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I appreciate all the support that I've gotten, whether in person or on social media. And if you have friends in or around the Toledo area or even Temperance, Michigan, and they would like to come down, help me out, please, I need all the help I can get when it comes to passing out literature, wearing a shirt to an event. I mean, I'm going to run as if I were running as a Democrat or a Republican. You know, I'm not going to let them. They're going to have a run for their money.
Awesome. Well, hey, I'm going to put one more comment up on the screen here. You've got Jordan Lott, and he says, "Hi, Zach. I hope you get elected."
Well, thank you, Jordan.
All right, Zach, thanks so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you, Mike. Look forward to being on again soon.